Welcome to Uncle Danny Makes Chicken Hunter and garlic mashed potatoes. We're going to start by preparing all of our ingredients beforehand, and then we're going to put everything together and get it into the pot. All right, so again, we're going to do tomatoes. What I like to do is cut the end of the tomato off. Okay, so you have a nice flat surface. Cut it in half. Now for this dish, I like slices, just a little slice. So I'm just slowly using my blade. I'm not forcing it down. I'm kind of letting the blade bite in and slide it through. So it's very little force, and I'm trying to get myself nice, even slices. So for the chicken hunter, like I said, you can do dice, you can do however you want. I like the presentation that this affords in the end. Again, we're not cooking for looks. At this point, we're cooking for flavor, or we're cooking to get used to the different types of cooking. So we're not looking for presentation yet. Presentation is for another time. All right, now you'll see me kind of go through this. I am using about 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breast. Now, obviously, you don't need to do that much, but I'm feeding a family, so 2 pounds is what we're going to go through. You can use the 2 pounds. Or you can use the boneless, skinless chicken breast, or you can use chicken on the bone. So this would be really good with chicken thighs on the bone and drumsticks, the chicken legs. Okay. You can also use, if you like the chicken thighs boneless, skinless, you can also use those as well. The only difference is the amount of time it's going to take to complete it when you have the bone in. It does add a little bit more of a time component. However, it does add also another element of depth to the flavor. So there are trade-offs either way. I like the boneless, skinless breast for this. That's what the family is used to, and so that's what we're going to use. Now I've already pre-peeled the garlic. So you see the garlic cloves sitting in the balance over there. Now next to that is some roasted garlic cloves. Now I did that because I'm going to put that into the mashed potatoes. All right, right now I am steaming the mashed potatoes that I have peeled and sliced, and letting those cook through. All right, next I'm going to do the onion. I've done this before for you, but I'm going to do it again. Okay, we're going to cut off both ends of the onion. Okay, so we can cut it in half. Now it gives you a nice easy peel, the top layer. So there you go. There you go. All right, 2 nice halves. Again, for this one, I am going to be slicing it, not dicing it. So again, you can just let the blade, if you got a sharp enough blade, do it. Or if you want, you can do the roll. You don't want to go too thin. You want to have a little bit of a depth to these onions, because you do want to have that as part of the sauce. You want to have a little bit of that onion there in its form, because it adds texture, and we really want to add a little bit of texture to this, because it's kind of like a stew. It is a northern Italian stew. You're basically stewing together the ingredients very quickly, albeit, but it is a stew. It's a hunter is more of a tomato-based stew with chicken, or it can be beef, veal, pork. Comes from the northern Italian region. It's cacciatore is a type of hunter chicken. This is not cacciatore, but this is very close to a cacciatore. I'm going to use basil. Basil is not the freshest, but I will pick that out and we'll slice that up.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kelsey's definitely right.
Sometimes the basil I get is great. Sometimes the basil I get is not so great.
America coming together to
The fresher the basil, the better the flavor.
platform to get a vision, and so it's always going to be a little bit of kind of people looking out for controversy. I think even other media outlets
All right, so
calling me saying, did Joe
here we go.
Biden walk back from criminal justice?
We have our basil. We're just going to do a rough chiffonade.
Things here and there that might
Slicing it.
elicit more controversy, but the reality
Okay.
is that 2020 is not 2016. 4 years might as well be 40 years ago.
We're gonna
And I think going into
create
2020,
room.
into this fall,
All right, so I got the onion, the tomato, the garlic. We have the chicken broth, the white wine. We need now the chicken. Now, before we slice the chicken, what I want to do is I'm going to show you what I do. We're going to be dredging the chicken. Okay, dredging the chicken in a seasoned flour. Okay, so what I like to do is get a bowl or in this case, a disposable plate. Throw in the flour. Okay. I like to use some cumin. Uncle Danny, how much do I need to use? Ha ha ha! There is no amount. It is just a flavor base, and it is going to be based on your flavor profile. And I'm using a little paprika here, gives it a little bit of color. This is smoked paprika. I like that. It gives it a little bit of a depth to the flavor as well. Fresh ground pepper. And if I had it, salt, but my wife just took it. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix that up. Oh, she's returning it. She doesn't even need it. She just wanted to steal it from me.
She definitely did what Bill said, which is...
Alright, there we go. Now we're going to put this to the side. Now it's time to get the chicken done. Like I said, I'm using boneless chicken breast. What I like to do is separate the tender from the breast. Okay, so that's one piece. And I bring it up and I slice it down. Okay, hand, palm, not palm, but the heel of the hand on top, sliding the blade through so that I'm not cutting myself. So out of that one piece of chicken, I've got 3 pieces now. Alright, again, we're going to do the tender. I'm going to show it from here. See, I put my hand up. Okay. And first I do the tip. Okay. Once I have the tip in, again, heel. And now I can open it up. Alright. This way, I am not cutting myself. And hopefully, you're not cutting yourself, which is more important. Alright. Tender, that was a small one.
Most of us are focused on the future and are optimistic about the possibilities.
Okay, so
I've
we
got
opened
to
it
get
up.
to another break, and then I want to get everybody
And now
back
we're-
on the
now,
conversation here.
what you can do with this is,
let's focus on the future. Meaning,
it's called a butterfly. You open up the breast so that it is pretty much an even piece of chicken. This is a butterflied chicken breast. Okay, you can use this, or you can cut it. Whatever you want to do. There is no right or wrong in this. We're not doing something that has right or wrong. We're doing things that are going to work for you, for your purpose. Okay? I'm not going to tell you you're doing anything wrong. I'm going to tell you, how to do it, how to be safe. And my motto is, this is for you. My recipe is an ever-changing recipe. Why is it ever-changing? Because, as you can see, I don't measure. So every time I come out with slightly different product. Sometimes I add things to it just to experiment. That's the fun part. What if I add mushrooms? How does mushrooms taste with this? What if I add a little bit of truffle oil? What if I add, a little bit of balsamic vinegar to finish it? Can I do that? Sure, you can do that. The whole point of cooking is to discover.
I agree with you on that.
what it is that you are capable of doing and what it is that you like to eat, and to be able to learn new flavor profiles and new ways of doing things. Cooking should always be your journey, not the end. All right.
You can make a meme with this.
I have a lovely wife who's saying you can make a meme with this. I have the chicken that I am now dredging. Okay, and I'm getting a wonderful aroma of the paprika and the cumin. It just permeates. Even though it's mixed into flour, it's such a beautiful. They're such beautiful spices. The aromatic of it just brings it right out. You can smell it. And you know, I am sure that I am describing this so well that you can actually smell it too. Don't tell me if you can or you can't, because I know you can. All right, so you're gonna get all this chicken dredged.
Joe Biden.
You know, and maybe you're gonna have some friends who you're gonna show this to, and they're gonna be people that have cooked, and they're gonna be like, "What kind of method is he using?" Or, you know what? Don't worry about what other people do, say, or think. When it comes to food, whatever you like, it is your flavor profile, and it's going to be your techniques that you're using. Okay, there you go. All right, so we got that all said and done. Now we're going to go to the next step. Okay, welcome back, part 2. Alright, we are going to get some olive oil.
Has really proven her leadership ability in a way that there were many people who said during the campaign they wish it was there.
Coat the pan with some olive oil. How much olive oil do I need, Uncle Danny? Oh, I don't know. I don't know how much you're going to cook. I will tell you that you do want to have a layer of oil on the bottom of the pan. Not a thick layer, but a layer. Okay? So let's see here. There we go. You see the whole pan is now coated. We're going to wait until the oil gets nice and hot, and then we're going to start with the onions and the garlic.
And people were very optimistic about their and there are people, and I would say that
Alright, now, I've in previous videos showed you how to crush and chop garlic. Here I'm using my garlic press. This is a really cheap tool that I promise you, if you follow my recipes, you will use it a lot because, like I said, I'm afraid of vampires, and in an effort to not be a victim of a vampire, I use a crap ton of garlic. Why? Because, you know, vampires are real. So let's just go with that. Alright. So, you get all that garlic, all that yummy garlic in to the pan. I kind of just make sure I get it all. Shake it up. It's not hot yet, so we're not going to put the onions in, but in a couple seconds it should be good to go. While my potatoes are steaming, I'm going to do the poke test. My potatoes have passed the poke test. Now, what you are seeing over there is my double boiler. I got the water boiling, and then I got a steam, just a pan in there with holes that the steam goes up and steams up the potatoes. I've sliced the potatoes as like they were chips, just a little thicker. That cuts down the cooking time. You would peel it, you would slice it, and then you would put it, if you don't have a double boiler, you would put it in a pot of water. It will go very quickly because the more surface area, the quicker it cooks. Back to the Hunter. There we go. You see the garlic starting to release some fluids, and and flavor here. We're gonna get in the onions. You see what I'm trying to do is separate the onion rings as much as I can.
We gathered at the African Biden made his first announcement. He was in fact going to be a candidate for president. Then we got on the Amtrak train. And so people arrived into Washington that Biden took every day during the early years in the Senate because he believed he had to be home to be with his
Okay.
son,
So, when we are sweating onions, which is what we're going to do, we're going to sweat the onions. We're going to sprinkle some salt onto the onions. That is going to draw out the juice of the onions. That is going to draw out the essential oils. That is going to draw out the fluids. And what it's going to do, it is going to allow the onions to sweat a little bit sooner than they normally would have. And it will draw out the sweetness as well. And the garlic, trying to stick a little bit, move things around, agitate, agitate, agitate. To saute is to jump, to saute is to keep everything jumping in the pan. There you go. Okay, as you can see, it's starting to come together now in terms of starting to sweat. The onions are fully coated with the oil and they're starting to sweat. The garlic is sweating and cooking. I'm getting a really strong garlic onion aroma. A lot of steam going straight into my eyes. I just want to cry. You guys are so mean to me. Keep it moving. Okay. Now, as you can see, I have the chicken sitting there next to me. I have the basil and the tomatoes sitting there next to me. I'm ready to go with all of my ingredients except for the chicken broth, and the white wine. All right. I am trying to
Cinnamon bun timer is done.
Alexa, timer off. Alexa, add 4 minutes to the timer.
You now have about 1 hour 43 minutes and 35 seconds left.
Alexa, cancel timer.
Cinnamon bun timer canceled.
Alexa, set bun timer 4 minutes.
Bun timer, 4 minutes, starting now.
And there we go. All right.
During political rewind, George's voices at convention calls from usually behind.
Alexa, stop playing. All right, so we got this beautiful. The onions are starting to sweat, and they're getting softer. They're starting to get a little translucent. This is where we want to go. So we're going to take the chicken and get it down on that onion juice and oil, right? Are you going to take the onions out? Nope. Move everything around. Move everything around. Okay.
I have a gun on me! This team! Yes, Father. Why is everyone on me now?
Alright. And we got that. Oh yeah. It's going to be beautiful. Beautiful. Like you. Everybody is beautiful. Singing is for free. I will not charge you for singing. Okay, there we go. Got a couple more pieces still. Okay. Now, the oven, the stove is on high. Okay, so this is going on high. Now, we're going to try to okay, so now we have, with that garlic and onion smell that we had, now we got those really strong aromas of the cumin and the smoked paprika, and it's starting to just mix together to a wonderful wonderful flavor there. I use cumin because I believe it brings out a really good Mediterranean flavor. Not normally associated with Italian food, but that's okay. Alright, here I got I'm getting a nice color. I'm not looking to cook this totally. I'm looking just to get a little bit of color onto the chicken. Okay? This is what we call crowding the pan. A lot of people don't like crowding the pan. I don't mind crowding the pan because I think it gives a nice flavor. Now, but what are you doing? I'm making room. I got more chicken, remember? I need to get the other chicken in the pan. Last but not least, there we go. Get some color there. Now, why I like using this is because now this has been contaminated with raw chicken. Unless I'm using it, keep it for raw chicken, it's going to go out. So I might as well just throw out the whole thing.
The bun timer is done.
Alexa, bun timer off. All right. Alright, so let's start moving things over. Okay. Now, all that tomato goes right in. Okay. Tomato is what I call a neutralizer. So if anything is too salty, you throw some tomato in there. It actually makes it so that it's not as salty. It absorbs, and it requires a tremendous amount of salt to. All right, so poured in some white wine, at least half a cup, depending on how much you're making. You might want to use more. And what I'm doing is I am agitating it to clean the bottom of the pan. Okay. So I'm going to add a little bit more. Okay. So. You see, it's got a nice little. What it did is it deglazed the bottom of the pan. Okay, and it's starting to thicken up from all the flour from the chicken, so it's starting that sauce process. Okay. Now you can get boxed broth. You can get bouillon cube and add water. You can mix two of those together. You can make homemade broth if you want, chicken broth. However you want to do it, but you want to get chicken broth. We want to bring that chicken broth and white wine up slightly above the chicken. Again, we're still on high. Okay? We are going to now add the basil because we want the basil to get in there and start stirring up. Okay. See, now everything's got a little bit more room. It's floaty. It's delicious. All right. So now the chicken is going to come. This is going to come to a boil and it's going to start reducing. By the time it's reduced to a nice sauce, the chicken is going to be done. All right. As you can hear it, it's bubbling. All right. It's got a nice. The chicken is done. It's ready to go. You got a nice sauce here. Now, if you want, and the sauce is not thick enough, and you want a thicker sauce, what you do is you remove the chicken from the pan, keep the sauce in there, get a little bit of cornstarch and cold water, and mix the cornstarch with cold water, and then pour the cornstarch slurry into the boiling sauce and stir it, and it will thicken right up. Throw the chicken back in, and then you can serve it over mashed potatoes. Deliciousness. Any questions or concerns, let me know. Alright, we got minutes. Turn on the next video.